One of the major reasons why believers are not enjoying constant favor or walking in the miraculous is because we have not learned how to build and sustain our prayer lives. A praying believer is a growing believer, whether spiritually or physically. A praying believer is a growing believer, because prayer is a force that advances the life and destiny of an individual. Prayer is a force that advances the life and destiny of an individual. So a praying believer is a growing believer. You cannot pray and be stagnant. When I didn't say just pray as an act. A praying believer means one who is committed to prayer. A praying believer is a growing believer, because prayer generates a force that can advance life and destiny. Nobody will live a life of victory as a believer who does not make prayer a priority. If you don't make prayer a priority in your life, you will not live a life of victory as a believer. There are two things that will happen to a believer who does not pray. Two things that will happen to a believer who does not pray. The number one thing is that the believer will suffer a lot. Any believer who ignores prayer will suffer a lot. You will go through so much hardship. You will go through so much suffering. You will face shame. God forbid. You will face things. You will face mockery. You will face mockery. And that's why many believers are today across the globe. They know that prayer works. They know that God moves when we pray. Yet they struggle to pray. And because they struggle to pray, God will not excuse them from the consequences of prayerlessness. Your choice to pray is your move to commit God. If you refuse to pray, you have frustrated God. So if you don't suffer, the second thing that will happen to a believer who does not pray is that they will survive by compromise. They will survive by compromise. If you find a believer who is not a prayerful believer, they will lie, they will steal, they will commit sin to get what God has already designed for them.